My mom chuckled across the dinner table, casual, almost bored. You'll never be as good as your brother. The words didn't land like an insult. They landed like confirmation. I set my fork down carefully, wiped my hands on the napkin, and stood up. Then tell him to pay all the bills, I said. I'm not sending money anymore. The room shifted. My father's hand froze midair. My brother leaned back, watching me like this was entertainment. Mom frowned. What money? I looked at her, really looked this time. No hesitation. No guilt. Just confusion. I never received a single dollar from you, she said. For a second I thought she was lying. Then I realized she wasn't. My chest tightened, not from anger, but from something colder, something clearer. Every transfer, every sacrifice, every month I stayed quiet while struggling.
Gone.
Or worse, redirected. I slowly turned my head toward my brother.
He didn't speak.
Didn't defend. Just held my gaze with a strange calm I had never noticed before. And in that silence, something inside me clicked into place. Because I finally understood. I hadn't been helping my family. I had been funding someone else's life. I didn't sit back down.
No one asked me to.
The air felt wrong now, like the room had shifted, but everyone else was pretending it hadn't. My mom glanced between me and my brother, confused, waiting for someone to explain. I kept my eyes on him. How much did you receive? I asked, my voice steady. He let out a small laugh, like I'd said something ridiculous. I don't know what you're talking about. That tone. That same dismissive tone he'd used my entire life. Mom shook her head. Sweetheart, you've never sent us money. Your brother handles everything here. Handles everything. The words echoed. I reached into my bag and pulled out my phone. My hands didn't shake. That surprised me. Every month, I said quietly. Same date. Same account. I stepped closer and turned the screen toward them. Transfers. Receipts. Confirmation emails. All real. All undeniable. My father leaned forward, squinting. My mom stood up slowly, like her body was catching up to her mind. But my brother? He didn't even look. Instead, he pushed his chair back and stood. Excuse me, he muttered. He tried to walk past me. I didn't move, because now I knew. And he knew I knew. And that was the first time he looked nervous. I stepped into his path before he could leave. Look at it, I said, holding the phone higher. He exhaled sharply, annoyed now. Move, Ava. That was new. He never used my name unless he was losing control. Look, I repeated. My mom came closer, her eyes scanning the screen. Her fingers hovered like she didn't want to touch the truth. These are your transfers? She whispered. Every month, I said. My father stood up fully this time. To what account? I turned the phone slightly, enough for him to see the last 4 digits. And that's when everything changed.
Because he recognized it.
His face drained slowly, like something inside him collapsed piece by piece. That's, he started, then stopped. My brother snapped. It's nothing. Old account. She's confused. But he moved too fast. Too defensive. Too loud. I lowered the phone and met his eyes again. You told me, I said quietly, that Mom needed help. That things were tight. That you couldn't carry it alone. My voice didn't shake. You gave me that account. Silence spread again, heavier this time. My mom looked at him, waiting. Not angry. Not yet. Just waiting. And for the first time in his life, he didn't have an answer ready. My brother rubbed his face like he could wipe this away. It was temporary, he said. You're overreacting. Temporary. The word hit harder than the lie. For how long? I asked. He didn't answer. My mom stepped back, one hand on the table. Is this true? He looked at her, then at me, calculating. I could see it now. The quiet math behind his eyes. It helped the family, he said finally. Everything I did was for us. I let out a slow breath. No, I said. You mean for you. My father spoke, low and sharp. Where did the money go? Another pause. Then my brother shrugged, like it didn't matter. Expenses. Bills. You wouldn't understand. That was the moment something inside me broke clean. Not loud. Not dramatic.
Just gone.
Because I understood perfectly. The new car he never explained. The trips. The sudden upgrades. All the things that never made sense. They weren't mysteries. They were receipts. I worked 2 jobs, I said, my voice flat. I skipped meals. I delayed rent. My mom's eyes filled, finally catching up to reality. And you were comfortable, I added. He didn't deny it. Didn't apologize. Just stood there. And that silence told me everything I needed. Because now this wasn't confusion anymore. This was theft. I didn't raise my voice. That surprised all of them. Because this version of me, the quiet one, was the one they never learned how to handle. I'm done sending money, I said, calm, final. My brother scoffed. You're acting like a victim. I almost smiled. Because that word didn't fit anymore. I'm acting like someone who finally sees clearly, I replied. My mom stepped closer to him now, her hand shaking. How long? She asked. He hesitated. That hesitation was louder than any confession. My father turned away, jaw tight, like he couldn't look at him anymore. You lied to her, he said. You used her. My brother's tone hardened. I managed things. Someone had to. Managed. There it was again. Control disguised as responsibility. I picked up my bag slowly, not rushing, not hesitating. I want every dollar accounted for, I said. He laughed, but it came out thin. Or what? I met his eyes. Or I make it official. That landed. He knew what I meant. Bank records. Fraud reports. Paper trails. Things that don't care about family excuses. My mom whispered my name, like she wanted me to soften. I didn't. Because this wasn't about anger anymore. This was about correction. And, for the first time, I wasn't asking. I was deciding. I didn't leave the house. Not yet. Because walking away would have been easier for him. I need the account details, I said, setting my phone on the table. Full access.
Now.
My brother leaned against the chair, arms crossed. You're not entitled to anything. I held his gaze. Then we'll let the bank decide that. My father turned back, his voice colder than I'd ever heard it. Give it to her. Silence. Real pressure now. Not from me. From him. My brother exhaled slowly, then reached into his pocket. His fingers hovered over his phone like it weighed something. He wasn't scared of me. He was scared of what came next. You're blowing this out of proportion, he muttered, unlocking it. No, I said. I'm finally putting it into proportion. He showed the account. I memorized everything. Routing number.
History.
Linked accounts. And that's when I saw it. Not just spending. Movement. Transfers out. Regular.
Structured.
Not random.
Planned.
I looked up at him slowly. You didn't just use it, I said. He went still. You moved it. My mom covered her mouth. My father stepped closer, eyes narrowing. Where? He asked. My brother didn't answer. Because now, this wasn't just between us anymore. This had a destination. And whatever was waiting there, he didn't want anyone else to see it. I didn't wait for him to explain. I opened my banking app, pulled up my login, and matched the outgoing transfers in real time. Same pattern.
Same dates.
Same amounts. Different destination. A name appeared on the receiving account. Not his. My breath slowed, not quickened. Because now it was clear. Who is this? I asked, turning the screen toward him. He looked away. My mom stepped closer, squinting. I don't recognize that name.
Of course she didn't.
It wasn't family. My father's voice dropped. Answer her. My brother's jaw tightened. It's an investment. I let out a quiet breath. No, I said. It's not. Because I recognized it. Not from memory. From context. The apartment upgrades. The trips. The sudden distance from home. You've been funding another life, I said. That landed harder than anything before. My mom stumbled back into her chair. With whose money? She whispered. I didn't answer her.
I didn't need to. We all knew.
My brother finally looked at me again, but now there was no control left in his eyes. Just exposure. Just consequence. And something else.
Fear.
Because I wasn't done. I stepped closer, lower my voice. I want the full truth, I said. Or I take everything I have, and make sure everyone else sees it too. He broke first.
Not loudly.
Not with a confession. Just a slow collapse in his posture, like something inside him finally gave up pretending. It's not what you think, he said, but his voice didn't believe it. I didn't move. Then say what it is. Silence stretched, heavy and final. There's another account, he admitted. I moved most of it there. My father shut his eyes. My mother didn't cry. She just looked at him like she didn't know him anymore.
Return it, I said.
He nodded quickly, too quickly. I will. I swear. But I shook my head. No, I said softly. You won't swear. You'll prove it. I picked up my phone and opened a document I'd already started. Transaction logs.
Dates.
Evidence. I've already sent copies to the bank, I added. That's when